Okay, don't tell. I know that you saw me. I was clearing all of the clutter and mess off of my desk space so that I can film a couple YouTube videos, and that is my dirty little secret, right? I have a lot of different papers that I need for work and for my business, and so things just kind of pile up everywhere, and yes, the clutter drives me nuts, but I want the YouTube videos to look all nice and put together, so there we go. I'm Amber with Solutions for Simplicity, and I wanted to just kind of have a chat. I wanted to fill you in on some of the behind the scenes things that have been going on in my life. If you are brand new, then hi, big welcome. I am a full-time working mom of 4 young kids, and I started this channel a little over 4 years ago now to share everything I have learned, both the hard way through my own experience, but then more importantly, through years of academic research I have conducted into how to better balance it all. And I hate that term work-life balance because I have yet to find anything close. There is no balance in my life. Instead, the more that time goes by, I think it's really just about optimizing what we are doing every single moment, making sure that we have our priorities straight, making sure that we are trying to use our time wisely, but that we are also honoring our bodies and our natural energy rhythms and leaving space for the big, hard, emotional things that life throws at us. So a while back, I posted this video giving you the update of my crazy spring, and that had come on the heel of a couple really challenging years. And then this summer, I took some really nice downtime. I was busy teaching some online classes. I am a professor by day and then productivity coach, YouTuber by night. And there are just never enough hours in the day for all of the things we want, let alone need to do. I'm so passionate about having this channel as an outlet for myself, right? This is what I do for me, and I love that so many of you seem to resonate with my journey. I was that person that just had it all together, thought I could do amazing things before I had kids, and was so naive about how becoming a mom would change things. But of course, mom life is just unparalleled. It is the best possible thing in the world. And if you don't have 4 kids yourself, believe it or not, I would say go for it, because the more kids I've had, the more I am appreciating how incredible motherhood really is. My first was just a big change. Lots of life changes happened that year, and I didn't keep up with it well. I ended up suicidal because I couldn't handle the stress of trying to keep up with my demanding job while learning the ropes as a new mom. But thankfully, that is all behind me. I am an open book when it comes to sharing my struggles. In fact, if you're not also following me on Instagram, that's where I really do a lot of daily behind the scenes things and some motivational posts and lots of encouragement, productivity tips, etc. And then here on this channel, I share all kinds of videos about planning, productivity, purposeful living, real working mom life, and just anything and everything that I hope you find valuable. If you have any videos or video ideas of what you want to see, please enter those below. I just like to kind of keep you informed so that you know that I am a real person, if that makes sense. I am so far from perfect, so far from having things figured out. And it's beautiful to look back and see how far I have come. Because honestly, if I am just telling the truth, as I always try and do, but you know, as you learn and look back, it's like, wow, I thought that I really knew what I was doing. When I started this channel, I genuinely believed that I had figured out so much. And then it was like God really tested me with all kinds of losses, losing loved ones, the pandemic, lots of changes at work, the stress of both my husband and I working and trying to figure out how we were going to be there for our kids and all their needs with no family help nearby. And it got really ugly, got worse before it is now really getting better. So I took this summer, had a lot of really nice quiet downtime. And then if you didn't already know, this fall, I have an incredible opportunity to have this sabbatical where I don't have to teach, I don't have to do service commitments at my university, and I am instead just getting to work from home really focus on my own academic research. And that's a huge blessing, but it's also a little bit of a curse because I've learned over the last few years what a social person I am and how much I miss feeling connected with my colleagues. The whole online and virtual learning environment of the pandemic did quite a number on my workplace and lots of others. And of course, my students are still really struggling as we've returned to normal and stuff. It's like the world is just fundamentally different. But I am really trying to keep my head down and work this semester because if you haven't kept up with my prior goal videos, you might not know that I started this big book project 4 years ago. In fact, it's kind of funny how the timing has all worked out, but I got this amazing fellowship to write a book based on original surveys I conducted in 9 different countries around the world. And it's something that I was so passionate about at the time and then just had to set aside, and I never forgot about it, but I just stopped wanting to do that project because the farther removed I was from it, the more daunting it felt to have to sit back down, get into the data, figure out where my head was at before all the craziness happened. And then, writing a book is no small thing, even in the best of conditions, let alone the hard things that I have endured. So it's been really hard for me to get back into the mindset I need to be to do that kind of deep work. And I am genuinely just forcing myself to sit down and work every day. In fact, let me see if I can find it. I put together this very detailed work plan here for the 4th quarter where I planned out exactly what I'm doing every day, how many hours I'm working. I use the Pomodoro time management technique, and that really helps me so that I know I just need to buckle down and focus for 25 minutes at a time, and then I get a little reprieve. So try that if you haven't, found a good productivity system. But then there are just a lot of other things going on too. One of the biggest things that I'm so proud of is that I am finally trying to prioritize myself and my health. I hate to say it, right? I think we're all kind of ashamed when we have that wake-up call moment and realize that we let ourselves go after becoming a mom or in the midst of hard things. But 10 years went by and I had 4 kids and I was exhausted. In fact, it's only been the last maybe 4 or 5 months that I'm finally sleeping through the nights after years and years and years of sleep deprivation. It's crazy how little sleep I got, and yet how I just kind of continued to function. Never at peak performance levels, but I was doing my best. And now that I am getting regular sleep, wow, I feel like a whole different person. So that's been good. And then I also reached this tipping point where I just felt so sad and frustrated with how far I had fallen and kind of the identity that I used to have before becoming a mom versus where I was at and how blah I felt. So I decided to do something that I've never done before, and I just pushed myself. I went all in on the hardest workout program that I could think of in the moment. And that is this crazy insanity program. It's old now. I actually had completed that program with a friend in 2011. And so I was thinking back to what was the last moment where I felt good about myself, where I felt strong and competent and on top of it all. And it was 2011 when my friend and I did this program. But after having kids, my doctor, my physical therapist had actually told me that I shouldn't do intense exercise again, that I should never run, that I wouldn't be able to jump, and that I should be really careful and treat my body, with a lot of care and compassion. So I did, but for years I was so discouraged because I like to work out hard. And the hard reality was that the easy workouts I was doing, whether it was walks or light weights or things like that, sure, every little bit helped, but I just wasn't pushing myself. And deep down, I just felt so bad because I just wasn't taking care of myself and I wasn't doing enough to be strong and healthy. And then I would turn to food or other things because I was emotional and time is always of the essence. So it all just kind of added up. I was at my highest weight ever. And then the big straw that broke the camel's back happened, I guess, the end of August. So I had something come up and I was developing a spot in my ear sometime last fall. It was almost a year ago now, and I just didn't think a whole lot about it at the time. I assumed it was just a thing that was gonna go away, and it didn't, and it got increasingly bigger and more painful, but I was so consumed with spending final moments with my mom in her cancer journey and trying to keep up with work and then be there for my kids, and I was just a mess. So it wasn't until this summer when I realized that that thing not only hadn't gotten better, had not gone away, but it was getting worse. And then by that time, when I finally called the skin doctor, they couldn't get me in for a couple months, and it was October 5th that I was finally able to go in for an appointment. They immediately removed the little tumor part and did a biopsy, and sure enough, it came back that it's ear cancer. Thankfully, it is, a kind that is very mild, and they're really confident that they can get all of the problematic areas out through surgery, and then I won't have to have chemo or radiation, and they're gonna do some reconstruction stuff. But that was like crazy news, right? It was just a big wake-up call because I turned 40 in February, and on the one hand, I feel my age, and on the other hand, like my head is still sort of back in my early 30s before all the crazy stuff happened. And I'm like, wow, what has happened to me? Let alone something like this. And it just really jarred me because, of course, I have young kids and I want to live well into my 80s and 90s and have a very long, happy, energetic, fulfilling life. So I've got to take my own health seriously. My husband has been on me about that for years. And I've really battled him on it because as the mom, I am the one that's always trying to take care of everyone else's needs. I'm always just aware of how everyone else is doing, trying to anticipate their needs, manage their emotions. There's just, right? The mental stuff that we moms carry around with us, and then how that pulls on our heart. We want to make sure everyone else is okay, and there's so much to do. So it was just so easy to put myself on the back burner unintentionally. And yes, everyone says put your own oxygen mask on first. I know I've even said that, but it is so freaking hard to live that out, especially when you're not sleeping and you're working full time or going through just major things. But I have this window now where I am getting a little bit of a break at work. I don't have to commute in. I'm able to work on a flexible schedule. And then this ear thing just really scared me. So I am trying to get myself together. And I'm so proud now of how that is going because while I'm not seeing major weight loss results yet, I'm just like ecstatic at the kinds of exercise I can do after all these years of feeling that I would never be able to do that stuff. So I'm pushing myself, but I'm so pleasantly surprised with how my body is responding, and I just feel so good, and it motivates me to want to do that much more. I recently emailed my email list about this amazing book I've been reading called 10x is Better Than 2x. And that was also part of the calculation in terms of realizing that if you want something, if you want to make real, lasting change, you're better off going all in, quitting cold turkey, ripping the Band-Aid off fast, and doing the seemingly impossible because it forces you to get out of your comfort zone and just take all the regular options you've tried or know about off the table and then get really creative and think critically about how you are going to do what you don't know you can, right? If you want to make it happen, you got to come up with new solutions. So I have been doing that. I also really drastically changed my diet, and I don't know that that will last forever, but I just feel better when I'm not eating many grains, especially breads or dairy. So that's been good. In terms of my other goals, I had this huge goal of launching a podcast, and I have shared it in some of my other videos. I thought this was finally going to be the year that I did that, because I have so much to say, so much that I want to share with you. And I try and do that through YouTube videos, but I've realized that maybe a lot of the women that would benefit from my perspective are so busy they don't have time to watch these videos, right? They're driving, they're doing dishes or laundry, and podcasts have sure become my go-to for consuming content while I'm doing other things. And I figure other busy moms would be the same. So in the summer, I invested in this amazing program to help me launch a podcast. It was the most money I've ever spent on myself, let alone my business. All these years I've been trying to just kind of DIY my business and put in the time, but do things as cheaply as I could. And I'm so proud of that, but I want to be, as my business is growing, it's important that I'm as professional as possible. And so I couldn't be happier with this program. But I realized as I was getting back into my book work and then also needing to take care of my health that I had to take my own advice. I am always reminding us that we can't do it all, that we have to prioritize, we have to be really clear on what's most important. We have to knock that stuff out and then sequentially get to the other things. So I made the really hard call early in September to take my podcast off the table for this fall and basically not allow myself to do the podcast until my book is done. And I cried because it feels like that proverbial knife in my heart. Like, that's my dream. That is my big goal. And I just want to do that, but I've got to make good on my commitment to finish this book. My husband keeps reminding me of how good it will feel when that is finally done. And then who knows what'll happen, right? Maybe other opportunities can open up. Right now, my big hope is to get to that in the spring. Maybe it'll also have to wait till next summer. I don't know. But basically, I just have had to shift my goals and priorities. It was so much about business this year, but I'm just having to instead focus more on my academic work and then really take care of myself. How are your goals going? I really would love to know, so let me know in the comments. If you weren't already aware, I run this incredible monthly membership for ambitious women. It's called Goal Slayer Gals, and doors open a few times a year. So as we head into the new year, I will be opening things up, and we would love to have you check us out if you are someone that has big dreams on your heart, because the women in this community are unrivaled. They are just so amazing, and we cheer each other on. We do weekly check-ins. We have all kinds of trainings and socials and resources and so much so that we can stay accountable, because that is what's proven to help you reach your goal more than anything else. Let's see what else. My kids are growing like crazy. My oldest turned 10 in August, and I'm like freaking out because I'm not ready to be mom of a preteen or a teenager. And then my brother is 8 years younger than me. So I feel like I never really had a great sense of what boy mom life would be like. And my kids are constantly surprising me. I'm just kind of laughing now. I really have come to embrace it. And everyone says, oh, don't you want a girl or whatever? And like, I don't know what I would even do with one at this point, because boy stuff is all I know. But that being said, like, dealing with teenage boys is going to be a whole new thing. And we've been in this beautiful zone of innocence, and my kids are just so awesome. And as I have been working on myself, as I've been getting some life coaching, as I have been working to improve my own coaching abilities and training, I just am realizing so much about myself, and it's making me, I hope, that much better of a parent and giving me such new perspective on how wonderful my kids are and what I can do to really help shepherd their personalities and help them utilize their God-given gifts. I know it's impossible as a parent to be perfect and not wound your kids in some way. They're gonna have their whole own issues, but at the same time, we're in a really good spot, and I don't want to jinx it, because I'm afraid that just by even saying that and putting it on the record, it's like inviting chaos. But I also want to embrace this. It's been a long, hard time, And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for you. I'm so thankful that you're part of my journey. I'm so honored if anything I share helps you on your journey. Please make sure and subscribe, share this channel with anyone else that is trying to just get through each day and make the most of their life without losing their self or their sanity, let alone their identity, and so much more good stuff is coming. So thank you for listening. I will be in touch soon. Have a great day.